Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just searching up the main characters' names, and I found out there are only 3 main characters there that they focus on.
Yeah, because the other side characters are pretty much superfluous.
I know, but how many main characters? How many characters do we see more often than the rest?
Well, we definitely see the main guy, the
Yep,
prince guy,
yep,
his love interest,
yep.
and then everyone else is pretty much like on the sidelines.
Those are the only 3 characters you remember we see the most.
I know sometimes we see the grandparents, but there's episodes where we don't even see them at all.
No one else at
Um,
all. Not even the main interest friend that always there too.
Well, yeah, there's that one redheaded girl. She's always with the love interest. There's like some other fuckers who are always like there, like
I know, but that's the
Yeah.
point I wanted to bring. That the redhead friend
mm-hmm.
is a supporting character. I thought she was a main character since she
Mm.
was part of the 3 of the 4 group.
Nah, she gives supporting character energy.
She does, but I thought she was also a main support. Like there aren't characters that are main support.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was expecting her to be part of that group, but she was only a support, which I was like, oh my god, just finding it out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy shit, I thought she was a main support, but
Nah,
she's only a support.
Well, the show really makes her seem like comedy relief.
Yeah, she is.
You know,
Alright,
she's
so-
nothing more than that.
Yeah, so the main characters are Silly, the love interest, Shin, the main character, and August, the prince.
August,
All right, so I got the
the guy
characters'
who
names.
cheated, the guy who Jada cheated with on Will Smith. August.
Mm. Oh.
Okay. All right. Are you ready to start?
Yeah.
Yes, this is he.
Oh god.
A mountain
Oh god.
with a tree growing off of his shoulder.
Oh god.
You're full of shit, man.
Oh,
What?
no.
What? Are
Help
you
me.
sure?
Oh no, help. He's been
Oh
doing
well.
this for hours.
All right. Let me
Help.
get something to write this down.
No, he's
Start to
been
take
talking
some
like
notes.
this ever since
To
we've
New
been trying to
York?
record. Oh,
Causing
God.
uncontrolled
He's
destruction.
been doing this for hours. Help
Wanted
me.
for draft evasion.
He's been doing this for 3 days
Can
straight.
I fly out there immediately
Help
and
me.
reason with it?
Help me, please.
An expense account and per diem too?
I'm dying. Help me, please. Oh my god. The cries of hell has
Listen
finished.
here, you communist
Oh, God.
son of a
This
bitch.
second
You
personality
better
is
get
here.
your ass down there for your fucking
Oh,
physical,
no.
or I'll see to it that you get
Oh,
used
no.
for fill dirt in some impending New Jersey marsh reclamation.
It's a
And your
Jersey man.
girlfriend here will wind up disguised
Oh,
as a
God.
series of brooms,
Is he a fan of the
primitive
Mets?
iron boards, or a doghouse. Get the
He's a Mets fan.
Get the picture?
Definitely a Mets fan. He's definitely a Mets fan. Oh my god. The voices have stopped. I am blessed. He's been doing this for 3 days straight.
mountain is something you don't
Oh no, he
wanna
started singing now.
fuck with.
Oh no.
Don't wanna
started singing.
fuck with.
His singing is
Don't
worse than his
fuck
voices.
around.
Don't fuck around. Don't fuck around. Don't fuck around.
I want to die now.
All right. Okay, guys. Welcome to another special
God.
episode of the Anime Match Cut podcast.
It's done.
This is the podcast where me and my co-host
What's up? I'm here.
get together to talk about our favorite movies and TV shows and animes. So every episode, me and my co-host recommend an anime or a movie or a TV show that neither one of us has seen.
And then we
before.
come here and talk about it and give our input about it.
Talk about it, give our input about it, joke about it, and just have a good old time. So, my lovely, lovely co-hosts, are you ready to get started on this magnificent day?
Oh hell yeah, I'm ready. I'm wearing
All
a
right.
mask and everything. I feel spooky today.
All right.
Since it's during at the time of recording, it is the month of October, and I'm feeling spooky today.
Well, talking about spooky things, did you hear that Hazbin Hotel is going to get a TV show adaptation that's going to be released on Amazon Prime Video.
Yes, I know. I am so excited. They released the actors who's gonna be playing each character. Oh my god! And if you guys have seen the pilot of Hazbin Hotel that was years ago, they
like
have
2019, I think.
Yes, it was 2019. If you've seen the pilot of Hazbin Hotel and see the characters and see the first ever release of the sneak peek for Hazbin Hotel, they changed a lot of the characters' outfits, the hotel, how it was, and
more detailed.
And more detailed, yes, because it's being produced by a
this
company.
is an actual TV production, and not just any company. It's being produced by A24, the studio who's responsible for The Lighthouse.
Ah, yes, the one
and
that we
Euphoria.
watched. Yes. So for me, if anybody else who's keep track of what's going on, I have been watching A Hell of a Boss alongside of keeping in touch of Hazbin Hotel, which I was excited the second they released a preview trailer of its show coming out, and they already released a song in Lizzie Pop's YouTube channel of what's gonna
Vizzy
be.
Pop.
Vizzy Pop,
not
sorry.
Lizzie.
Yeah, sorry. I'm bad with names. It's gotta happen sometimes, Chad. You already know this. So, anyways, I'm very excited for all of the characters because some of the voice actors we already know and because of their past work, which I will give it to my co-host here since he knows the names of them because I'm not gonna remember all of them.
Well, I just briefly looked up the cast list. I noticed two names that stuck out to me. Because some of the voice actors have been changed for this new TV show because this is a professional animated studio production. So instead of having just people who work on the internet, it's going to be some famous actors. Like, for example, I saw the name Stephanie Beatrice. She's going to be voicing Vaggie, that character. And Stephanie Beatrice, she's really famous for being on the sitcom Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and she was also the voice of Mirabelle from Encanto, Disney's Encanto.
Which one was the Billy Bell? Was it the strong one?
No, Mirabelle was the one who did not have any abilities.
Oh, okay, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so this is our home. We got every generation. That girl.
Yes. Okay, got it.
So
I only seen the movie once, so I didn't remember.
It's a good movie, and I really like her
really
performance
good movie,
in it.
but I don't really remember the
But
characters.
the grandma's toxic as fuck. But anyways,
yes.
But yeah, so she's in the cast. So she's gonna be playing Vaggie. I think Vaggie is the girlfriend of the main character, Charlie.
She is, and also girlfriend/bodyguard.
Nice. And then also the name Kamiko Glenn also popped up in the cast list, and as some of you might know, she's the voice of Penny Parker from the Spider-Verse movies, and she's also been on shows like Close Enough and Orange is the New Black. So she's in the cast. I forget exactly who she's going to be playing, but those are the two names that stuck out to me the most. So a lot of the original cast is not going to be, well, no, I should say the original cast is not going to be in this show, it seems. And they all seem to be replaced by professional voice actors and well-known Hollywood actors instead of the original cast, which is kind of interesting because do you remember that movie we reviewed months ago called Boogie Nights?
Yes, I do remember it.
So I'm just gonna keep this brief. In the movie Boogie Nights, director Paul Thomas Anderson, before he made the 3-hour long movie, he did a short film, kind of like a proof of concept, the same way that sort of Hazbin Hotel was a proof of concept. So he did this short film as a proof of concept that the story could work, and so he did a short called The Dirk Diggler Story. And Dirk Diggler was not played by Marky Mark, the famous actor Mark Wahlberg. He was played by an unknown actor. And in the movie Boogie Nights, that the unknown actor who originally played Dirk Diggler plays a small role as a customer in a music store early in the movie. And so that's kind of interesting that, this is kind of like Vizzy Pop's Boogie Nights, where she got to do the independent pilot with her friends, but now that she's making a professional show, she now has to use professional actors for the roles. What are your thoughts on the changing of the cast?
Well, I'm okay with that because of course they're switching towards characters that are more famous because it's being produced by an actual company. So they cannot have people that just to voice act for fun. They have to have professionals that can go through hours and hours and hours and hours of rereading the script
Yeah.
because they're used to it. They cannot have like trust other people who actually started it but doesn't have any like some of the training.
Yes.
So, of course, their safest option were to get actors that can take over and do the recordings themselves,
Mm-hmm.
so everything will go out fine.
Yeah.
Which for me, I somewhat in the middle of because I
Mhm.
wanted the original cast to be in the show, but
Mhm.
I understand that they cannot have them because one, they had to sign a contract. Two, they had to take training, which will take longer if they want to stay
And they probably have to be in the union too.
in the union as well. Yeah, so there's multiple things that has to happen if the original cast wants to stay as their characters. But
Yeah.
things that has to happen, things hard choices has to be
Mhm.
taken. So I agree with it, and also don't agree with it because
Mhm.
I wanted the original cast, but if it couldn't be happen, then I'm okay with the second option they chose.
Actually, I do have a fun fact for you. Monica Franco, the original voice of Vaggie in the show Smiling Friends, the Adult Swim show Smiling Friends, she did a couple of voices on that show. The only voice that I clearly remember her doing is that in the Halloween episode of Smiling Friends, she played one of the girlfriends of the main characters, and she's credited in the episode. So, it's not completely impossible that they could have maybe casted her back as Vaggie, but who knows? Who knows if maybe that was like a studio decision. Maybe A24 was like, all right, we're going to fund this show. We're going to give you a full season order, but you got to get some marquee value on this show. So you got to hire them sitcom actors.
My God.
Yeah.
Well, and also just to bring it out there, if you guys don't know what Hellabot is,
Hell of a Boss?
no, sorry, wrong name.
Hazbin
Hotel is.
Mhm.
It's basically the setting is in hell, with demons
Yes.
controlling, roaming around, and the main character is the daughter of Lucifer that wants to
Mhm.
rehabilitate demons to go to heaven.
Yes.
So that's basically the
this
entire.
is he.
So that's basically the entire concept of what the show's gonna be. There's gonna be a lot of wacky stuff and everything. And the only thing I'm like curious about is Hello Boss gonna be part of the Hazbin Hotel pilot thing since
Well,
they're
yeah.
both in the same universe.
So you bring up an interesting question with that, because here's sort of the thing, how kind of like studio, like how, like if you're working with a studio, how that kind of works. So usually when you sell a show to the studio, you're selling the rights to that property to the studio. And then the studio gives you money to produce the product, the show. And so in Hollywood, owning the rights is very important. So if Vivzy Pop sold all of the rights to Hell of a Boss and Hazbin Hotel, I could see the Hell of a Boss characters making appearances in the new Hazbin Hotel. But if it's a situation where Vizzy Pop only sold the rights to the Hell of a Boss characters, then we would probably not see the Hell of a Boss in Hazbin Hotel.
Well, the thing is, Hazbin Hotel's been a project that's being created while Hazbin Hotel's being produced. and
Yeah,
being-
but the thing is like, who
yeah, I know.
owns
I
the
understand
rights?
that.
Who? Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, who owns the rights? So does
I think
A20?
Busy Pop has the rights of Hello Boss, but I think A24
Yeah, because
has the rights
yeah.
of Hazbin Hotel. But
Yeah,
I'm saying,
mhm.
like in the future, would it be okay for him to have like
What-
just
Yeah, what they
coming in.
what they can do is Vizzy Pop could do something where like she allows the Hell of a Boss characters to be licensed and put in the show for maybe an episode or two. But then A24 would have to pay her to put the characters in.
And also, I don't know anything of the situation about Hello,
Mhm.
not Hello,
Has
been Hotel.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the situation on her. I just keep
Mhm.
been keeping up to what's going on, what's
Yeah.
happening. Is it still being produced? What's going on and all that. So
Mhm.
I don't know any of the legal stuff
Yeah.
that's going on. So I don't know, and my co-host probably doesn't know neither of
Yeah.
well, who has the rights of Hazbin Hotel. And
They
what-
probably, I would say probably A24 does have the rights to Hazbin Hotel, because I remember a story back in the day. You're familiar with The Simpsons, correct?
Yes, yes.
So The Simpsons was not Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, first choice to sell as a show. Originally, Matt Groening wanted to sell his comic book Life in Hell to James L. Brooks, and James L. Brooks is the executive producer of The Simpsons. And so Matt Groening did not want to essentially sell his baby. That's his like pet project. That's his, passion project. And so he decided to come up with a different show based on his own family, The Simpsons, because he knew once he sold the rights to James L. Brooks is going to own those characters, and Fox is going to own those characters for like the rest of time. And so what I think is that Vivzie probably because she wants to be like, a show creator and she wants to work in the industry, she probably compromised and probably sold the rights to A24, because here's also the thing. To produce animation is super fucking expensive.
It is.
And so
yes.
if a studio is going to invest so much money into a project, into a property, they're going to want to own the rights, because they're going to want like the licensing of the characters. So if like the characters get put on a t-shirt or get put on toys or made a video game of them, they want to get the money from the licensing projects. So yeah, so probably A24 probably now owns those characters. And Hell of a Boss might be, well, because from what I've seen, Hell of a Boss really, like we haven't really seen other characters from Hazbin Hotel
in it,
but
yes.
but that's what I've seen. I don't know if like way off into the background there's like some reference to Hazbin Hotel, but maybe.
No, I have been watching every single episode to the current season 2 episode 6 of Hell of a Boss, and I went through the videos multiple times to see if there's any reference of Hazbin Hotel.
Yeah.
And I have not seen a single reference of them at all.
Yeah, because me neither. Because for the most part, for the few episodes I've seen of Hell of a Boss, it just really focuses on that core group of characters. We don't really see any others, and maybe that's for the best. Maybe if like say Hazbin Hotel, maybe if something does go wrong and Hazbin Hotel only gets 1 or 2 seasons, Vivzie Pop can fall back on Hell of a Boss and just keep making that, and maybe turn Hell of a Boss into like its own thing. Later down the line, but hopefully the new Hazbin Hotel is successful.
Yeah, hopefully,
because this is like really big, because this kind of reminds me of Smiling Friends. Even though Smiling Friends was not a show that was made first on YouTube, it's made by 2 YouTubers, Zach Hadel and Michael Cusack. And and it's really exciting to see like YouTube creators get their shot into making like big professional like shows and movies. And that's what really excites me about this new Hazbin Hotel project. Any last thoughts on Hazbin Hotel before we move on?
I just hope that it comes out great, because I love Hazbin Hotel pilot, and I would just want to see it still be as good how it was in the beginning. Especially Alistair.
Yeah, the radio guy.
Radio demon.
Yeah. Radio killed the video star.
All right. Anyways.
Okay, let's get on to our next topic. Did you see the trailer for the new Dragon Ball series, Dragon Ball Daima?
Yes, I have. They're turning into children.
They turned them into chibi little children. Okay,
yes,
so
every single character.
So what you what am I trying to say? So what did you think of this new trailer? What are your thoughts? What are your hopes and dreams about it?
I thought it was great, but the one thing that was really happy that he got his stick back.
Yes.
He got the stick back. Yeah, his power ball. He got it back. He used that to defeat the Red Ribbon Army.
Yeah.
He used it to hurt people's genitals. He used it to just knock people out. Yeah. He used it for multiple things.
Well, yeah, the staff, because Goku, he's sort of like kind of like a parody of the Monkey King from the story Journey to the West. And so that's why Goku has like the tail. That's why the Saiyans turn into great apes. And also the flying Nimbus is also part of the legend, and the staff. The Monkey King in the story has a staff, so Goku has the power pole. And yeah, that's a really nice detail that they included. For me, I really liked the trailer. I thought the animation looked really great. Yeah. I noticed that they were mixing in both 2D and 3D elements into the shots.
And there was a lot of 3D and
animation
for the first beginning part. and then they
Mhm.
switched to 2D, and then 3D again, and then 2D again.
And it looks all so seamless because
Yes, it does.
I noticed for like the 3D stuff, like the backgrounds and stuff, it's all cell shaded. So the textures are cell shaded, so it makes it look like a 2D cartoon. And it all fits well, it all integrates well. And you can really tell that I believe it's Toei Animation who produces Dragon Ball. You can really tell that they gave this show a really high budget because everything looks like so crisp and clean and nice. And I'm really excited to see the animation of it all. The only thing that worries me is that it's the writing. It's really the writing. If the writing is terrible, no amount of like good animation will make me love the show. But then again, this trailer was just a short trailer and we didn't really get to see any of the story of it. We don't know who's responsible for wishing all of the Dragon Ball characters to be made into children, so that still needs to be revealed. But I did read something that this show takes place before the events of Dragon Ball Super.
Really? So it's right in the middle.
Yeah, so it's just right before. So this is kind of like a prequel sort of spin-off series. We don't know yet how this is going to affect like the overall narrative of Dragon Ball going forward, but it seems like this show is just going to be like its own little self-contained spin-off, hopefully. And then
So it's just like GT.
exactly like GT, and similar to GT, it ages down the characters probably for like story reasons. Probably the reason why they age them down is so that there's more conflict and more of a journey that the characters have to go. Because if you know Dragon Ball Z, like characters like Goku and Vegeta are OP as fuck.
Yes, they are, and we will keep them that way.
Yeah, and so and I know a lot of people didn't like GT when it initially came out, and GT only has about like 36 episodes or 26 episodes. It doesn't have a lot of episodes. It's not like Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z where it has hundreds of episodes, because Dragon Ball GT did die out fairly quickly for an anime of that size. Also, Dragon Ball GT didn't have a manga. It's one of the few anime shows that did not have a manga to accompany it. So everything that was created for that show was like from the minds of like the writers and the directors, not Akira Toriyama himself, the creator of Dragon Ball. So it'll be interesting to see. Like for me personally, I do have some love for Dragon Ball GT. You could say that I'm a Dragon Ball GT apologist. I do like the fact that Dragon Ball GT was returning to the roots of the original Dragon Ball, where it was more about the journey and the adventure than the fighting. But that's like only like the first half of GT. The second half of GT is more like Dragon Ball Z, because then you get like, because they fight like Super Baby and the Shenrons and all that stuff. So yeah, so we'll see what this new show entails, but I'm really excited to see what happens there. You had something that you wanted to bring up news wise. What was that thing?
Oh yeah, the one thing everybody already knows, but I just want to bring it up as well. The thing of what Call of Duty is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys don't know of the story already, it's already been covered by multiple people already, but I'm just gonna give my own thoughts and opinions on it.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the company name for it?
Activision.
Activision. There we go. And so there was a modding community. I could not find the name of the modding community.
Mhm.
It was because of Activision's suing them and taking them off from the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So this modding community, just to give you some context, this modding community had every single Call of Duty map open and free for everyone to get on and play.
Mm-hmm.
Activision did not like that because apparently it was ruining their plans for the future.
Oh, okay.
So if you guys remember Call of Duty 2, the year was set in 2025. If you guys remember the campaign of Call of Duty 2 and you just didn't skip the campaign and just went to multiplayer.
Mm-hmm.
In the campaign, there was in the year that you were fighting a war was in 2025.
Yeah.
So at 2025 of our time, they were gonna release a remaster of Call of Duty 2, releasing every single map of Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3, and also the other Call of Duty games in that remaster, and retell the story again.
Oh, okay.
And they also had other plans that the modern community had as well.
Okay,
So-
interesting. Yeah.
So they went and sued the modern community. I forgot again the name. I could not find the name, so I don't know what their name is.
All right.
So I'm just putting it as the modern community
Mm-hmm.
to take all of it so they can have all the profit. Which, like, come on, really?
Mm-hmm.
They did that so they have more money. That's the
Yeah.
stupidest thing. Just let us just have fun. That's it.
Yeah, because
Leave us alone.
Yeah, because sometimes it really does benefit a company if they just kind of let the fans sort of not like take over the series, but like have the fans contribute to like the popularity of a franchise. Because I know for one thing, like the reason why, like say for example, some franchises like for Star Wars, for example, there's a lot of people making like fan art, fan films, short films about the Star Wars characters and that. And even when like, Hollywood wasn't making Star Wars movies, that series, that fandom was still alive. So sometimes it is smart for these companies to just sort of like let fans have fun with the series. You know what I mean? But you mentioned that Activision is going to re-release the maps and the maps from the previous games and remaster the previous games.
Yes, that's what
Mhm.
the Activisions were planning to do.
All right, so at least that's a little bit of a silver lining there, where at least they're like remastering like the old games.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
because apparently because they said that
Mhm.
all the Call of Duty games they make is dying down, so to
Mhm.
save them, they want to have Call of Duty 2 to be the remastered in 2025.
Mhm.
Because if
Yeah.
you guys have heard, Activision is not releasing a new Call of Duty game on 2024.
Really?
Yep, they're gonna go an entire year of without releasing 2024, so they get the hype
Yeah.
for the remaster.
Yeah, sometimes a franchise does need a break sometimes. Yeah. But thankfully they are remastering like the older games, because I know like some companies like Nintendo, they have been like real dicks about like re-releasing their stuff.
Nintendo is a freaking what the hell you want us to do if you don't want to do it yourself. Let us
Yeah.
do it ourselves, but get sued for it.
Yeah,
Like there's a
yeah.
game in the Wii with the nunchucks.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I'm saying it, the WII.
Yeah,
There was a
yeah.
game that I loved so much that I wanted to be remastered into the current game that we have right now, the Switch.
What's the name of the game?
It was a military game.
Oh.
I forgot the name of it. It's like escaping my mind.
Mm.
And I loved it so much. They made it a sequel too. They made a part 2
Oh, okay.
of after the first game, and I really want that to come back so much.
Mm.
I don't longer have the Wii nor the games because my mom took it away and sent it to our cousins.
Gay.
Exactly. So I cannot go back and replay those games no more.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's kind of the problem with Nintendo, is Nintendo doesn't really preserve their games all too well. I mean, for the Nintendo Switch, I know that if you sign up for like their internet service, you get like old Super Nintendo, old NES games included with that. And then if you pay for like the year long service, you can get like Game Boy games and N64 games, but it's not every N64 game and it's not every GBA game, and so that kind of sucks. Although it is nice that I can play Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the Switch if I pay $50 a year for it. But yeah, Nintendo really needs to like learn to preserve their games. And I think this is a problem going forward for like video game companies like Activision, like Nintendo, is that they got to learn how to preserve like their old classic games, because if they preserve those old games, preserve the maps, remaster their old games, they'll keep getting customers coming back and back and back
For just the nostalgic
Yeah.
alone.
and and that's just like them remastering and re-releasing games. That's just like license to print money. That's like an excuse to print money for them essentially. But yeah, it just really sucks that some companies don't know how to like run their business in a way where it makes them happy and it also makes the fans happy.
Yeah, but they're only thinking about themselves and how much
Yeah,
money they'll get.
Only the bottom line. That's all they care about. Only the bottom line.
Because honestly, if they release some of the games they had in the PlayStation 1 or Xbox or
Yeah.
any other, because I have almost every every console. I played almost every console growing up, and I currently have the consoles of every company of PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox. I have all of them. If they remaster some of the games from those games, I will definitely buy and play them just for the
Yeah.
nostalgic alone.
Like, I wonder, like, how much did that old SpongeBob game make in terms of like money? Remember how like they re-released SpongeBob Battle for the Bikini Bottom?
Yeah, rehydrated.
Yeah, and they released it for Switch, Xbox, and
PlayStation,
PlayStation.
Xbox,
Yeah.
computer.
I wonder how much money that made, because I do remember that the people were really hyped for that re-release, and I think a lot of people were satisfied with it. People aren't really talking about it now, but I remember really enjoying the remaster of it. I just
I
wonder.
played it.
Yeah, I just wonder how much did it make or how successful it was. 'Cause-
I played it. I
Mhm.
streamed it.
ah
So I played it to completion.
to completion.
Yeah, I literally bought it from the PlayStation,
Mm-hmm.
streamed it,
Yeah.
and I told everyone who watched it, I'm going to continue playing this game until I 100% everything.
Oh wow.
Because I loved it when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to complete it because I completed when I was young, but it was difficult for me at a young age because some of the things were difficult
Mhm.
for coordination, and also controls were all buggy and all that.
Yeah,
but-
the new SpongeBob Rehydrated actually fixed a few things that were very annoying of the original game.
Yeah, so I remember streaming it for like 5 hours each, just so
Oh,
I
really?
can have
Wow.
so I can cover everything quickly.
Yeah. Oh well, I didn't 100% it. I just had like just fun, like just like reliving.
No, I
childhood
had
memories.
fun. I had fun doing it. I even said,
Mhm.
I remember there was something here. So I did it. Like, yeah, I remembered. Haha. I was like happy with like happy moments, like me remembering
Yeah.
all those areas for the extra underwear health, those secret little
Mhm.
hidden spatulas.
Yeah.
Like, I was like happy. I was like, wait, I remember in this house that this had this. Oh my God, it's still here. Let's go.
Yeah, because thankfully for that game, the thing that they really improved was just like the graphics and the look of the game. Because I from what I remember, a lot of like the game physics and even the voice acting is still the same. But let me ask you one last thing about SpongeBob. How did you feel about Mr. Krabs' voice in that game? Because you know that Mr. Krabs' voice is different.
Yes,
in that
it
game.
was very different. When I heard Mr. Krabs talk, I'm like, all right, Mr. Krabs, how much you want for this spatula? And it was very different.
Yeah, because I don't know what happened there. I don't well because the voices are the same from the 2003 game, so I don't know what happened there exactly. But yeah, but hearing Mr. Krabs' voice in that game, that's the only thing I don't like about that game is the voice that they got from Mr. Krabs.
Which it was a little weird, but
Mhm.
I didn't really care.
It's
I
just
just
not-
cared about the rest.
Yeah, it's just not the same. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird because like every voice is the same except Mr. Krabs, and so when it's kind of like if say like you're watching like a Looney Tunes thing and all of the voices are the same, but like Bugs Bunny is like completely different. You know, it's just weird. But anything else that you want to talk about Call of Duty before we move on?
No, nothing much. Just Call of Duty. Just we'll have a year break
Yeah,
of not releasing any Call of Duties until 2025,
yeah.
and just what they did to the modern community
Hmm.
for like their maps being played without them getting money,
Yeah.
and basically that's
unfortunate.
it.
So one last news item before we get into like our feature presentation. So did you hear about the writers and the actor strikes? Any updates?
I heard. I don't know much what happened, but I did hear the writer's strike is now done.
Yes.
But the actor strike is still going on.
The actor strike is still going on. So yes, so since we last reported on this topic, the writer's strike has ended. So the writers and the Hollywood studios have come to an agreement. They signed a new contract, and the specific details of the new agreement have not been released, but it seems that both sides have come to a compromise, and hopefully the writers will get better compensation for their work. Because there haven't been anything released saying that the writers were disappointed with the offer or vice versa. But maybe we'll learn at a later date what the specific details of that contract is. But unfortunately, the actors strike, the actors, the SAG Guild, what am I trying to say? The Screen Actors Guild, unfortunately, is still striking. So the studios, so from what I've heard, the studios have stopped negotiating with them. They left negotiations, but the actors are still striking. They're still out in the streets picketing the studios. So who knows what's going on there? Because like who knows why like the studios don't want to negotiate like better royalties for the actors, and I don't understand why they can't like just throw them a few more $1,000 or something so that the actors can come back, because I think the studios, what they're doing is very selfish. Did you hear about this new Taylor Swift movie?
There's a new Taylor Swift movie?
So she's going to be releasing a concert movie, which they basically like film her concert and they're going to play it up on the screen. And the tickets for that, the pre-sale tickets for that movie have already surpassed $30 million in ticket sales. And this is even before the movie has come out. But the Taylor Swift movie is not going to be released by a major studio. So no Fox, no Disney, no Warner Brothers, no big studio is releasing that movie. Taylor Swift is releasing this movie by herself. And
so she's paying for everything then.
Yeah. So the reason why she could do that is because she has such a big following and people already want to see stuff from her. And this is kind of like an omen for like movie studios. If movie studios don't shape up and pay their workers fairly, people are going to start to not want to be partnered with them when they create their own stuff. So this is kind of like a warning for studios. If they don't shape up and treat their workers fairly, they're going to lose their workers to other people who are more interested in creating their own things without their help. And so hopefully the actors can get a better deal from these studios before it's too late.
Honestly, they should just like man up, like, sure, we'll pay you even more, because goddamn, they're paying for making these movies alive. So why not just pay them more?
Exactly. And so hopefully things will change. But the sad part of it is that for the fans, for the movie fans, we're also suffering too. Because now I read a report that Deadpool 3 is not going to make its May 2014 release date because of the actors' strike have severely delayed that movie. So next year we will probably not see Deadpool 3. Also, there's also movies coming out. Like, for example, there's this new Martin Scorsese movie called Killers of the Flower Moon, which I'm really excited to see. And none of the actors are going out to support the movie. The only interviews that I've seen for this movie are from the director himself, Martin Scorsese, because he's not an actor and he is a writer. So now he can promote his movie. But Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, the big actors, they're not going out to support or to promote the movie. So that's gonna really hurt Hollywood, because if regular people who watch like podcasts and TV interviews and stuff like that don't know that a movie's out, it's gonna really hurt the box office for like the new movies coming out for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of like this is kind of like where we're at with movies at the moment.
And you know what's gonna be funny?
What?
If they don't fix the actors strike right away, the animation studios can really get benefit from this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if the actor strike is gonna keep going for years and years and years without no actors creating movies, there's gonna be a lot of voice actors and a lot of animation movies gonna come out a lot more.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see a whole lot of new animations, and it is also a big chance for any any video game movies to be animated to come out, except for the actors.
Yeah, and also maybe like anime will even become like even more popular, because anime is completely not affected by any of the Hollywood strikes, because anime is created in Japan, and that's like a whole other industry.
Yeah, and so anime and animations will be skyrocketing because there's no movies to watch, any new movies to watch.
And that's the thing that Hollywood needs to take in account, is that if they keep doing all their bullshit that they're doing right now, other people, other companies are going to swoop in and take their audience.
Exactly. So they better stop being stupid and only thinking about money, start thinking about the future goal of getting people all happy. Yeah. Make movies out, and then they get the money they lost. That's how you're supposed to fucking think about it. If you're just thinking about money, and nothing else, then you're going to fucking go down to shit.
Exactly.
And you're going to be like, why did this happen? And no, it's going to be your fault because you weren't being smart enough.
Exactly. And yeah, that's the thing. So hopefully things go well for like the actors who are still striking. But yeah, so that's the update on the Hollywood strikes so far.
Yay!
So let's get into our topic. All right, everybody. But before we get into our topic, make sure to follow us on social medias. Our social medias are going to be in the description for both the video and the podcast version of this episode. So before we get into that, let's just sort of introduce our topic that we're going to be talking about. So today, our lovely, lovely listeners, we are going to be talking about a very special anime that is called The Wise Man's Grandchild.
Yeah! Let's go!
The Wise Man's Grandchild is a fantasy isekai series that's created by Tsuyoshi Yoshikoda. And this is a very special anime that my co-host has recommended. So I'm going to let him talk about what the show is about.
So basically, The Wise Man Grandson is basically what it is. We follow the main character, Shin Woodford, the boy of the grandson of Merlin Woodford.
Mm-hmm.
He is the man that found Shin when he was abandoned in a demon attack.
Mm-hmm.
He was Merlin was just walking around, checking around the area when he see a carriage with both mother and father turned to shreds, being killed. And then he was about to leave the area until he found Shin, a baby, alive and was protected. And Shin thought, oh, and when he saw it, he's like, oh, it's a miracle that the child lived through a demon attack.
Mm-hmm.
So he took him in and started training the boy.
Right.
So this, over the years, he started training in multiple arts: magic, swordsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what's the enchantments, all the works of their world, and it just becomes becomes a big bundle because the Merlin just teaches Shin all of magics and everything else. But there's one thing that he forgot to teach the poor lad, which makes me laugh every time he gets into the situation. He does not know common sense.
Or basic social skills.
Exactly. So every time he's talking to everybody about magic or does anything like all from his training from swordsmanship, magic, or whatever, shocks everyone to the point they are in awe of what the hell is happening. And throughout the whole episodes, every time he talks about magic or anything, everyone gets scared of him because the magic he's doing, no one can ever do.
Yeah, he's really OP.
Yes, he is OP. And then when the point where he grows up as an adult, everyone asks Shen what he's gonna do because of all the skills that he has learned from Merlin and everybody else. Which I am not gonna name them because there's so many characters that actually help them throughout his life before he becomes an adult. So I'm just gonna say the names of the main Pacific ones that actually helped him along the way, which is Merlin. So the characters that helped Shin through magic and swordsmanship and everything, Merlin was the one that teach Shin about magic and its properties. There was also another character, which is Merlin's partner and traveling companion when they were young, was Minilia. I'm probably saying the name wrong. I don't give a fuck. You guys know this. And the one that did the swordsmanship, which the name is missing me because I cannot find it. Oh, wait. Now remember. His name is Michael. The helps teachings about swordsmanship. There was also a merchant that told him about food and all that and how to make it. His name is Tom. Just Tom. Plain old Tom.
Oh, Tom.
Oh, Tom! I know the second I said Tom, we were saying that throughout the whole through the show where Tom was in the episode. We just every time we hear them say Tom, we just go look at each other and say, "Oh, Tom!" From Boondocks.
I likes you and I
want
want
ya.
you. We can do this the
easy
easy
way
way or the hard way.
The choice is yours. So anyway, those are the main characters that were supporting him throughout his life.
Yes.
And then when they ask Shin what he wants to do, he has no idea. He doesn't know what to do because he was taught everything except for common sense. So they gave him the idea to attend to school.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes to a big rabbit hole because the entire time he was at school, he's just been overshadowing the teachers, the
Yes.
students, everything. And the one thing that Shen didn't know throughout his entire life, his grandfather and what was her name again? Oh my god, I'm terrible with names.
I just remember her.
Merlin.
I just remember her as Merlin's ex-wife.
Yeah, Merlin's ex-wife. Yeah, they throughout the time where they were going to Shen so for him to attend school, we got revealed that Merlin was his ex-wife.
Yes.
So Merlin and Merlin went to the capital for where the school Shen's gonna be attending, and we found out that Merlin and Shen were heroes of the nation for killing the first ever demonoid human with Satians. And it was the most biggest problem.
Epic thing.
It was the biggest problem they had as a nation because that could kill everyone.
Okay.
So when they saved everyone, they left that life because they didn't like the popularity. They just want a simple life. But when they returned, everyone was shocked, saying, Merlin, the wise man, has returned to the kingdom. And then everyone's like, wait, he's returned? And then everyone saw, wait, what's the boy with him? Oh, he's my grandson. And he has a grandson! And everyone just loses their shit. All the women trying to get Shin to marry so they can be part of that family. But they don't know that he isn't the grandson of Merlin because they never had children. They just give it off as him as being the grandson because it makes sense because they're older and the kid is like very young.
Exactly.
And he just became an adult. And just go through everything at all of the whole stuff. He goes through high school. He goes through complications. He meets a love interest with the love interest really likes her bag. But they were so weird and like you gotta watch the anime for their weird interactions of the love interest. And the love interest name is Silly. Silly is that one nobility girl that everyone always asks her out, but she always declines. So she never has a love interest at all. But when Shen saved her one day when he was attending the school, like the entry exam for the first time, he saved Silly and Silly fell in love with him. And this was the first time she ever fell in love to another person. And not the other way around. Men go after her and she keeps rejecting. Now she fell in love with a man and now she's trying to attract to him, but she doesn't know how to do it. So their interaction is so weird. And it makes sense with Shen because Shen doesn't know common sense at how to treat a lady. So he's been doing certain things that were supposed to be like, oh, this is so sweet. But he's just like, oh, this ring is this item is perfect for magic defense. I can put magic so you can defend yourself. Oh, this is good for you to have. I can put magic in this and it will be good for you. It's like the whole interaction is so weird. And everyone around them is always like, wow, Shen, good job for doing that. What are you, a fucking idiot?
He is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he is. So throughout the school year, he's just been the one teaching other students of magic and all that.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit about the conflict. So what is the main conflict of this show before we get into like what we feel about or what we think about the show?
So for this, the main conflict is wait, let me get the name out so I can say his name. So the main conflict is Oliver. Oliver is this nobility, this noble commoner nobility from a different nation.
Yes.
But he has a tragic backstory, which I'm gonna let you guys watch why he became evil. His plan was to make an army of humanoid demons.
Yes, pretty badass.
Yeah, which he succeeded in the anime, and continue. And his main mission was to overthrow his nation that threw him out.
Yes,
which he succeeded. Now that he is bored, now he's decided to start conquering the rest of the nations. But that didn't come up until his subordinates did it first.
Yeah.
So that's the whole conflict. Oliver just wants to conquer the world and just fuck shit at all. because we don't
Some
know
men-
nothing else in the anime because they left it off on a cliffhanger.
Some men just like to watch the world burn.
Yes, we live
Boing.
in a society.
Fucking Joker.
It's basically like a Joker moment.
He
We
is,
live in a
he is kind of like the
society.
Joker.
Yes, he
kinda-
is. Do you not put that 2 and 2 when we watched it?
Well, a lot of villains kind of like share like those kinds of themes. But anyway, let's talk about how we feel about it. I think I have a pretty strong feeling about how you would rate this show. But unfortunately, guys, this is one that was just not my jam.
It was really not that. It was like a weird, like mix of certain things.
Yeah,
Because it wasn't good, but it
Mhm.
wasn't bad. It was right in the middle.
Yeah, because that is true. The animation of it all is pretty well done and professionally made. My biggest problem is just the story structure of like the whole season. I wish the story structure was a little bit more focused and had a little bit more purpose to it. If I were to give it a rating, I'd probably give this one like a 5 out of 10. And basically like those 5 points out of 10 is basically just because, the acting was pretty all right. The animation was pretty fun. There was some funny scenes that I really enjoyed. I really like that one fight that he has with that one dickhead from the school.
Oh, the one that he
Yeah, the one he myrtleized. I like that scene. That was probably like my
wait,
favorite.
Let me see if I can get the name of that guy. That
I just remember him as like the dickhead of this. Oh, and also like that
Kurt.
one.
His name is Kurt.
Oh yeah, the rapist dude.
Yeah, the rapist dude. My God, that guy was so rapey.
Yeah, yeah, especially to like that one girl that the main character ends up falling in love with. It's like, whoa,
silly,
this is
silly.
yeah, this is really fucking creepy.
Yeah, he
How
was
did they-
so
how did-
rapey.
How did they let this go through?
He was so rapey. I even forgot about it because I seen it a long time ago.
Mhm.
And then rewatching it, there were so many things I forgotten about. The only thing I remembered was the combat, fighting demons,
Mm-hmm.
and the main protagonist got the girl.
Yeah, I really like how this show. So here's one thing that I've been really getting into recently. So I've been reading a lot of like books on like screenwriting and storytelling because I'm thinking of writing my own screenplay sometime soon. And so I've been reading this one book called Save the Cat. And Save the Cat, they talk about like different genres that movies fall into, but not just like the regular genres like horror, romance, or action. The writer in that book, he talks about like specific genres, specific story types that movies fall into. And so one of the story types that movies fall into that he talks about is the fool triumphant. And so basically the fool triumphant, it's this kind of story type where like a lot of comedies fall into. So the fool triumphant is like a story of like an outsider who is special, who can do like something special, who has like some sort of special knowledge. So like our main character Shin. And then the whole world around him is like amazed at what he can do, even though he's kind of an idiot. So think about like a movie like Forrest Gump or even Amadeus. Amadeus kind of falls into this fool triumphant genre. So Shin, he is the fool triumphant. He's like the foolish character who can do great things and who ultimately is going to save the day or resolve a conflict in the story. And so while watching this show really gave me those vibes that this is the kind of genre that it's in. The one thing that I didn't like about this show is that I felt that this show really needed like a strong antagonist, or they needed to put in more conflict and more antagonism in the story for me to like love it a little bit more. Because one problem that I do have is that Oliver, who I thought was a pretty okay villain. He was pretty good in the story for the episodes that they put him in. I just wish that Oliver was more in the story throughout the show. Or what they could have done is they could have done like two villains. Because one thing that I was thinking about that they could have done? The Prince, August. The Prince August could have been like the Salieri of this story. Remember, like in Amadeus, they had Salieri who's always jealous of Mozart. They could have done something where like they made August like the jealous character. Because one thing that I noticed about this show is that August's dad, the king of the realm, he really supports Shin, the character. And he's like proud of him and he thinks that he can like, be a great asset to the kingdom. And so one thing that I thought that they could have done is they could have done sort of like a Cain and Abel type of thing. Are you familiar with the Cain and Abel story of the Bible?
I am. Yes.
So if for those who don't know, in the Bible, Cain and Abel, they're two brothers and they're going to give offerings to God. God accepts Abel's offering, but he rejects Cain's. So Cain becomes jealous of Abel and ends up killing him. So what they could have done is they could have done this one thing where like August is kind of like sneaky. He's the insider. So in the book Save the Cat, what Blake Snyder, when he talks about these kinds of stories, in full triumphant stories, there always has to be an insider, a person who is against the fool or against the main character, who knows how the world works and who knows how things are supposed to be. And here comes the fool to disrupt the status quo. So what they could have done is they could have made August a little bit more sneakier, a little bit more conniving. Because I thought that they were gonna do that because after Shin defeats the one like Kurt, the rapist dude, I thought that that's where the story was gonna go, where like August is like sneaky and conniving and doing things behind Shin's back, but they don't really do anything with that. And that's what I kind of wish that the story was kind of leaning more towards. I wanted more conflict in the story. That was my thing. Because one thing that I felt that the show kind of
it was more like a funny slice of life kind of thing. Comedy shit.
But here's the thing though, is like I think like slice of life works really well. Like for example, Dragon Maid, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid doesn't need an antagonist because the conflict or the drama just comes from like the misunderstandings of like this regular girl dealing with like a mythical dragon girl and like all the shenanigans that they get into. In this one, where it's more like Lord of the Rings, more like King Arthur type stories, or like Game of Thrones type stories, I kind of wish that there was more like conflict, maybe a little bit more intrigue. Maybe some lore could have worked a little bit more better because I wish I could have known a little bit more about this world and why this world works the way it does. I wish we could have had a little bit more of that. Because here's the thing. I like the scenes where Shin is a dumbass and he doesn't know how to like socialize around people, but we kind of needed something. Maybe if they fought like a few more monsters, maybe if Oliver came back every once in a while to fuck their shit up, or maybe if like the prince was trying to use like his political power, like in
Amadeus.
No, not Amadeus. Shield Hero.
Hero.
Remember,
okay, yeah.
Remember
the bitch girl. Yeah.
the bitch girl. if maybe the prince was like a character like that, like if he was just like a character that we hated, that could have been a little bit more better.
They're having a season 2, so they're coming back.
But yeah, I just felt like the show needed more conflict. But I will say this: the show did not piss me off. I will say that.
Which makes sense because their ranked number after all the enemies is 59, 70, 57. So
like in popularity?
In popularity, yes. And their score overall, how the enemy is 6.62.
Yeah.
So it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
Because also what's surprisingly is like this show was really tame on like anime tropes. There wasn't like a lot of like annoying anime tropes.
This anime had like some of the tropes. Like
the beach episode. But even though with the beach episode, I didn't get pissed off at that. Because sometimes beach episodes like really fucking piss me off. Because like they're just there for fan service.
The nosebleed. The always tripping and getting into a sexual accidents.
Did that happen?
Well, it did happen a couple times.
It happened when like Shin and that one girl he likes, they were under the covers.
Yes, that was
actually pretty funny. I actually like that. Because then he gets caught by his like grandmother, and the grandmother like yells at him, like calling him a pervert and all that stuff. That was pretty funny. You know what? I wish there was a little bit more of that too. I wish they kind of like did like more like kind of like high school stuff. Because
there's an anime out there, so don't worry. There's an anime in our list that has all of that.
Because one thing because let me tell you something about this show. Because when you told me that we were reviewing this show, and you said the title, "The Wise Man's Grandchild," you know what I thought we were gonna get?
What?
I thought we were gonna watch like fantasy Rick and Morty.
Really?
Yeah, I thought this show was gonna be about like the grandfather the grandson like together going on adventures like in a fantasy world instead of a sci-fi world, and maybe the grandpa was like a drunk or something or a man child, and then it's just like the grandson cleaning up the grandfather's father's messes. Like I think that could have, I think maybe if you did like a slice of life of that, that could work because you don't really need like an antagonist. It could just be like a problem of the week or a monster of the week type show. But yeah, but also like when we were watching it, I thought that the school was going to be more prominent in the story. I thought we were going to get maybe like a fantasy My Hero Academia.
Okay,
But
got
we didn't
it.
but we didn't exactly get that. And I was sort of thinking like about like My Hero Academia. I think what makes My Hero Academia work for me a little bit more is that I like how like there's like a structure to it. Like there's character, like there's a character arc for the main character. So Deku has like a goal that he's trying to meet, and we're following him through his journey, like, you know, a hero's journey. With this one thing that I didn't like about it, even though I did find it kind of funny and kind of fun, I didn't like the fact that Shin was too OP. Because one thing that did kind of bother me is that I wish like Oliver, the main antagonist, I wish he was like at the same level as Shin. I kind of wish like if both of them were like equals, like in terms of like power and strength. Because Oliver, like he barely like survives his encounter with Shin. And I think that that's the reason why in the story we don't see him too much, because they made the main character so overpowered that there's no drama to the story and there's no conflict. And also, since I've been reading books about how to write a screenplay, one of the main like rules in writing a screenplay is that you can't always give your character everything that he wants, or you can't give your character everything that he wants right away, because there has to be a build up, there has to be a journey. You have to make the character earn what he has in a sense. And so I felt that's what it needed. Let me ask you this. Going back to the prince has two characters who are kind of like his supporting cast.
Yes.
He has a girlfriend and he has an annoying little sister.
Yes.
What did you think of those cunts?
Well, they were added in just so they have the
Mhm.
some conflict with the prince, because
Yeah.
it's just been focused on Shin and his problems and
Yeah.
him like dealing with his love interest. So they wanted to add August to be like at the same level
Yeah.
of what Shin is.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to add a princess and a sister, like the same thing, because I feel like it was just a carbon copy of what Shin was doing.
Yeah.
Because Shin has a love interest, but they're not engaged.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like really awkward and everything. And then the friend, what was her name again? Mary.
Yeah.
She was the one that always teases Chili and Shin, like, are they like yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to August, I felt like it was a carbon copy. Like August's relationship with his love interest, that they already know what's going on. They're like secure. They already know what's happening. They're really like with each other and everything.
Yeah.
So they were not very awkward. But her sister is the one that's being annoying, shy, and also like very like always doing everything.
Yeah. One thing I did like about those characters is I do like the fact that when we meet the characters, the girlfriend accuses Shin of like being
boy love, yeah.
Of Shin and August being lovers. I was like, oh shit, is this gonna turn into Brokeback Mountain now? Is this gonna become Call Me by Your Name now? And I actually found that pretty funny, because like that's kind of like the vibe I was getting between August and Shin. Is like August seems to like Shin a little bit too much, don't you think? Because it almost seems like, it didn't seem romantic, but it seemed like he had like a man crush on him, almost a little bit too much.
Yeah, a little bit, but it was all because at certain times I saw you looked at me saying, "What is going on? Is he gonna get fucked?"
Yeah, because here's the thing. I finally figured out who is the dick writer on this show.
Who?
August is a dick writer for Shin.
Okay.
All these animes always they have to have a fucking dick writer or dick writers in these fucking shows. I don't know what's up with Japan. Japan, are you fucking obsessed with dick writers?
I don't know. The only thing that every time you say dick writers, I always think about that one from the Slim Shadys. Gomoro.
Oh,
Gomoro.
Or like
Gamera.
or like Kirishima with Bakugo in My Hero Academia, because he's always like, "Oh, sir, Mr. Bakugo senpai." No, but I don't. Too many animes nowadays are doing that. Too many dick riders. I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know. It's just a new genre.
It's kind of like a new trope, I guess. I really didn't like the little sister. I thought she was way too annoying.
Yeah, she was.
And that's also another trope that I keep seeing in these animes, because I remember when we watched 100, the main character in 100 also had like a little sister who was kind of like her, who was kind of also like his sort of like mascot cheerleader type character. You know what sort of like little kid or like little sister type character that I do like in animes?
Which one?
The Dragon Maid one. What was her name? Kana?
Kana, yep.
Even though like she's technically not like a little sister, but she kind of fits in that trope. I like her because they actually make her funny. They actually
Oh.
Yeah. Because there's actually jokes. They write jokes about her and for her, and they actually use her in a way where it's entertaining. With the little kid, I don't know, like why do they keep adding these characters? I don't like that. Philo was all right. She was an all right like little kid character. Essentially,
She was right in the middle of being a kid and also an adult.
but she also serves a story. She also serves a purpose in the story. She's like, part of the team, and she fights.
Yeah, because in her life, she was young, but they forced her to become an adult way too quick.
Yeah,
And she still has that childish, wants to have fun, wants to play around thing.
Yeah, and who else? No, I didn't really like Ozzy Argento. Ozzy Argento kind of sucks. From High School DxD.
Yes,
I'm just sort of trying to think about little kid characters that don't fucking annoy me. I guess Philo and Kana are like the only two that don't fucking annoy me.
Oh, you're gonna get annoyed when we watch Index.
Index cards.
Index? No, the Index.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
It's literally called Index.
What did you think about the grandparents? I kind of like the grandparents. I like what they were all about.
Yeah, the grandparents were there just to show Shin where to go.
I like his relationship with the grandparents. I like how like the grandpa, he's kind of like he's kind of like the fun grandpa. He's not.
Yeah,
like
he's
too,
the fun, goofy one.
He's not too strict.
While the ex-wife is the most
she's the more
careful.
Yeah, she's the more disciplinarian, the more cautious one. I like his interactions with them. I also I mentioned the grandma thinks Shin's a pervert.
Ah, yes.
That was really funny.
Because he probably learned it from Merlin.
And then because Merlin, he seems like the kind of guy who like in his 20s, he was kind of like maybe like a man whore or a fuck boy. And that's probably why their relationship didn't last or didn't work. And I also like the fact that like when Shin tells his grandpa that he appreciates him, he just like starts like crying, like ridiculously cartoonishly.
He starts
crying.
bawling.
He balling.
He balling.
He a baller.
He balling and can't get up.
Help! I'm balling and I can't get up. Yeah. Anything else that you want to add about this show?
Just my opinion. Just for the nostalgic was good to rewatch an old anime that I used to watch.
Yeah.
But for me, didn't really leave an impact. If the only thing I remember was the combat, him getting the girl, and he being stupid as hell.
Yeah, I just wish that the elements in the show were a bit more focused.
Yes.
And maybe if there was more conflict or more comedy in it, I think I would like the show more. But anyways, with that being said, anything else before we give our final ratings?
No, that's it. It really didn't really stand out to me. It was a good anime overall. But again, like you said, could have been more different and a bit more combat and stuff. More
structure, more conflict. Because you really gotta make me care for the characters. Like I'm not expecting this to be like Game of Thrones or like Citizen Kane or anything like that. I just want the characters to go through a journey, because I think that's what makes me care about characters.
Don't worry, there's a lot of anime that I chose that had travels.
Because I think that's why I liked both Shield Hero and My Hero Academia, is that both of the main characters have a lot of conflict that they have to overcome, and then slowly as the show goes on.
And speaking of My Hero
Yeah.
and Shield Hero, there are
Mhm.
seasons we haven't finished watching that we need to get
Well,
to.
My Hero, I don't know about Shield Hero.
Shield Hero is coming out next year.
So we'll have to
And
wait
My
on that.
Hero, season 5 and 6 and 7 is already.
Has 7 already come out?
I do not know. I have not kept touch with
What
it.
we should do is find out if season 7 is already out, and then let's just knock out 5, 6, and 7 like in one episode.
All right, we could do that.
And then that way we'll finish off with My Hero Academia, and then maybe talk about the movies a little bit later, because I would like to talk about the movies.
All right, yeah, we could do that as
and
well.
then Shield Hero, definitely when season 3 comes out, we have
2.
to do.
No, oh yeah, 3. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, because once Shield Hero comes out, we'll definitely have to talk about that show, because I'm interested to see how they'll handle season 3. But yeah, so let me just give my rating. My rating is still a 5 out of 10. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Good animation, some fun voice acting. Writing could have been a lot better. 5 out of 10.
Yeah, same. I'll give the same rating, 5 out of 10. It's not a good anime. It's not
okay.
a bad ending, but same thing. But for me, for different, is that at least more combat. At least a little bit more combat, and have the main character go through a little bit more stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so my lovely co-host, do you know what we're going to be reviewing next?
Yes, the next episode, episode 18 will be The Police Story 1 and 2. That is the recommendation my co-host recommend. And I have seen only a little bit of parts and pieces of it, so I don't know the entirety of it, but I'll be happy to watch all of it and see my first reaction of watching it for the first time.
All right, so yeah, so we're going to be talking about Jackie Chan's Police Story 1 and 2.
Monkey?
Oh my god. Yes, Monkey from Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda. Yes, Jackie Chan's Police Story 1 and 2. We're going to be watching that for our next episode. All right, my lovely co-host, where can the lovely listeners find you on the interwebs?
Well, in the interwebs, you can find me at Twitch, which I'll be streaming on the weekends and on Mondays. Every single time you can see me there. Sometimes I will not be streaming. The link, you will have it in the description. The name will be at twitch.tv/dragon9074, which the name is changing soon. Like I already explained from last podcast, the name that I wanted, somebody has it, so I'm thinking, I know, I'm trying to figure out a new name to go by. So give me a little minute to think of a name, because naming yourself is difficult, man. So that's where you can find me. Hope I guys see you there. If you want to talk, come in, just say hello, or just ask me about questions about what will you want us to watch next for a sub episode. Then yeah, we can do that too. And just have a conversation with you guys if you come and join.
All right. Also, we're also on social medias on not Twitter. On Instagram, we are under Anime Match Cut Studios. On Threads, we are at Anime Match Cut. Same with Twitter. We're also Anime Match Cut.
You mean X?
Or X. Yeah, I just dead named X. Oh, whoop-de-fucking do. And then
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who gives a fuck? Also on TikTok, we are Anime Match Cut Studios. I would recommend following us both on Instagram and TikTok. That's probably like the two social medias I post the most often on. So if you want updates and other types of content from us from social media, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. The links to all of our stuff is going to be in the description of both YouTube and Spotify. So yeah, there we go. That's the episode. Come on, boys. Let's get to it. Let's get them.
Let's get on it with the nation. This is the end of the episode. Let's get it going now. Yeah. We'll be right back soon. Bye.
All right. And that's a cut.
All right.
That's a cut.
All right. Stop screaming. Damn.